This is the 234th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the third week of November 2015. This episode is titled End of Winter. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by the Compliance Locker by Arkus. Capture all chatter posts, deletions, and files available for free on the App Exchange. Take it for a spin at compliance-locker.com. Safe Harbor. Compliance Locker 2 is going to rock.
It's coming, people.
Hey, I'm Jason, and there's the speaker of the day, Justin. Justin, how you doing?
It's coming.
Yes, it looks cool.
It does look cool.
I've seen only tiny little screenshots. But yes, the old Compliance Locker is being shot in the head out behind the barn. And the new Compliance Locker is going to be pretty good. All right, well, we have a little show today, not a big one. It's the week before Thanksgiving. So we will not be here next week. Well, we will be here in the world, but we will not be doing any podcasting because it's Thanksgiving week and no one works and no one does anything. That's not true. So, but we do have sort of the last two blog posts about winter 16. So I thought we'd kind of go over those, make our picks, wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and then we actually have a neat couple of topics for next week or the week after, which we can investigate and get back to. Because I think it'd be fun to talk about, kind of like cloud and stuff and social stuff. We don't really talk about that often, but we can do that. So let's get into it. First up is a blog from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Titled Winter 16 for Developers.
Yes.
So I don't know what they're talking about. Written by one Roger Mitchell at rogermitchell.com.
Yeah.
Or sorry, at Roger Mitchell. He might actually have a .com for that.
At Roger Mitchell.
On the Twitter.
At
nope,
Roger
it's
Mitchell.
At Roger Mitchell.
All right.
So he kind of goes over, and this is at blog.arkusinc.com.
Some cool stuff in here.
There is some cool stuff, so I think we'll let people read it, but we'll also pick maybe one thing each.
I was gonna pick like all of them, but they're really cool.
I want people to read the blog post because we get all the advertising revenue when they read the blog post.
Yeah, right. Which one do I want to pick?
I know which one I want to pick.
Man,
why
don't you go first? That way.
So the one I'm kind of interested in, because the one I'm dealing with the most recently with my development projects. Again, I'm not a developer. I was one back in the day. But now I just sort of manage development projects or help or basically tell Justin to do them and I pick on them, is the custom metadata types. So it sounds like, again, I've never used these. I'm old school. I'm from the hood. I do custom settings.
Right.
So what I read here is that custom metadata types used to be available and you could do them, but you had to do them through
It was first made available in summer.
Okay, so I didn't miss that much.
No. You missed the
5 months.
You missed you don't have to do this through the metadata API to create them.
Well, that's what they're now.
Right,
but the point is, to me, they just showed up as a feature. So
yes,
I kind of want to talk about them.
Feature.
So it sounds like to me, let me get this right. So with the custom settings are great. You put them into Salesforce. You're allowed to put in variables and things that can be used over and over again via classes and things. So you can basically have settings like colors or features or things like that you can turn on or off without having to go into the code. Good practice. So my understanding about metadata types is sort of similar to custom settings, except for they can hold values that can then be pushed along with the package.
So consider a custom setting an object.
Yes.
And consider the fact that when you deploy an object from a sandbox to production, you can't deploy records.
Right. So it's
custom settings are actually an object that then records get created within. Mm-hmm. And then even within those records, there are
metadata types, custom metadata types.
Nope. Well, custom settings.
Okay.
Custom settings are objects, and then you have to create records.
Right.
Well, you can't push those records.
Right. Just like you can't
recreate them.
Just for example, like if you created a new record called prospect or a new object called prospect, and it had a bunch of fields on it, and then you populated 5 or 6 prospects, you couldn't push those the actual records from sandbox to production. You could data load it, but you couldn't push them. Okay.
So custom metadata types actually allow you to deploy the values that you need, because basically you end up having, with custom settings, you end up having to recreate stuff in production, and it's sometimes annoying.
Did this all yesterday.
Yeah, it's sometimes a little tricky. You got to go back and retrace, and the IDs are different and all sorts of things. So I'll build off of your choice, and I'll go with named credentials.
Okay.
So this is an awesome new feature. Named credentials, oftentimes when you're building integrations, you are storing usernames and passwords and API tokens and whatever else within and endpoints within custom settings.
Right.
Now you can have a named credential because you can actually store these credentials for the integrations within this very special, I guess I want to call it like a special metadata type.
Special metadata type.
But it essentially takes the pain out of managing that in a custom setting.
Right.
Which
again, same issue.
took the pain out of hard coding it in code, so it's just a continuous step in the right direction.
It's breaking it away from something that
stuff.
it sounds like with the name credential, same thing, I can push it. Yes?
I don't know if you can push it.
But just makes it
at the
separate.
very least, you can store things for integration purposes, usernames, passwords, things that you
So
wouldn't
Salesforce
necessarily
needs
want.
needs to make a call out to some other system. It needs to log into that system with username and passwords to do so for this integration. You can store the name credentials in that setting as opposed to building your own custom settings to do it.
or building a custom metadata
Right.
type
So
to do it.
basically, it's a pre-built
Yes.
set of things that has the values and can be reused and is probably in a nice local place in
Yeah, you
the
manage
setup.
your endpoints, you manage your passwords, your usernames, whatever, and it's really nice and easy peasy.
Awesome. Well, easy peasy. There is actually a couple good things. So even if you're not a developer, I mean, even though Roger is, on the technical side, he's up there. If you're not a developer, you should still read this because there's some things in here that you might want to. Might seem a little Greek, but you definitely read them because you always land on something like, "Ooh, I didn't know that could happen." Speaking of which, going to the next one, which was published this week on blog.arkusinc.com. By Mr. Peter White, who is at SFDC Clicks. That's 2 C's in the middle. So yes, he's a branded SFDC Twitter. I'm sure they're going to take that away from him. So this week, it's ideas delivered in Salesforce Winter 16. Again, this is the last of the Winter 16 blog posts, which I think there's about 7 or 8.
Quite a
6
few.
or 7. Yeah, quite a few. So these are the great ideas that were delivered. And
Not all of them, but
there's just picking some. Again, in the release notes, you do see there's that section that tells you these are sort of picking out ones that either we're excited about or are interesting or whatever. So let's pick a couple and talk about those as things that we think are fabulous. Maybe pick 2 each.
Okay.
All right.
I'll pick the first one.
Okay, you pick the first one. This
Well,
one's cool.
It's in pilot beta, but it's something that I've been asking for forever.
43,000
which
points.
is global pick lists.
Oh,
which
cannot
is
wait.
great. So build a pick list once, allow me to use it on other objects.
Right. So
Biggest use case is I'm building this pick list on a lead.
Yes.
I want to put it either on a contact or an account or an opportunity.
Right.
I don't want to rebuild this because I have to because my conversion requires me to put it somewhere else once the lead is gone.
Right.
I think that's the major use case for this
Huge.
feature. I love it. So right now it is in pilot beta.
Pilot beta.
I thought those were 2 separate things, but
It is a pilot beta.
It is a pilot beta.
Beta pilot.
So you can share pick lists across objects and keep that pick list data clean, which is great. So we'll see when this actually becomes GA, and when it does, it'll be part of more of our blog posts because I'm sure this will be a big one.
Yes.
This is a huge feature. 43,790 points on the App Exchange that are going to be retired with this feature alone, which has got to be one of the biggest ones of all time.
Well, there's one down here that's 83,000.
What?
That's allowed more than 3 columns in dashboard. I'm just going to throw this out
That's
one.
an asterisk.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to throw it out there because it is an asterisk. It's a lightning only thing. So, and remember, kids, when taking your dashboard that you have and saying, "Oh, I'm going to put on 7 columns and I'm going to stretch this chart out over 3 columns," which is awesome sauce. Trust me, awesome sauce. Just remember, once you lightningize that dashboard, right now it is then a lightning dashboard and cannot be used in non-lightning world. So it's kind of, once you take it and edit it and turn it into that, it's not going to be able to go back. So you might want to just make a copy and move on from there. I will pick, though, as my real one.
Well, you just did pick
No,
a real
I didn't
one.
pick
now
that.
You're gonna, this is your second. You only get 2.
All right, well, I better pick a good one.
Better.
No, I'm going to pick 2. 2 more because I can. First one,
go ahead.
quick one. Create more roll-up summary fields per object from upping from 10 to 25.
All right.
Awesome.
Flatten out that data. Go
Easy.
ahead.
And then the other one is, I didn't even know this. This is like one of those ones that snuck by me. And this is kind of why I like that we write these blog posts, is because sometimes I learn stuff.
I missed one of these and I was like,
Enter
what?
new context on the fly when opening a new case.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
I did not know that. That's awesome. So now when you creating a case, you can enter a new contact. I was always been a confusing thing when you do the lookup, because when you do a lookup to another record in certain places, and I can name, I think, 2, there is the new button. It exists. It says new, and you can create a new record of whatever you're looking up to.
Yeah.
It's usually an account. I think it's from opportunities, maybe, is where you can create the new one.
I actually think that's I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think that is actually a result of having quick create still enabled.
Really?
I believe that to be true.
You think those things are connected?
I do.
Wow.
Think about it. When you're creating that new record, it doesn't ask you for much. It doesn't ask you what record type you would like to create.
Right.
I believe it is just a
reusing of the quick create. So if you turn off that quick create feature, then it doesn't allow you to look up the. Don't worry about it. Whatever. We can look it up later.
I mean, I'm putting myself out on a limb here.
Or whatever. We're in a time crunch. But anyway, so
I'm just gonna try it in our org because I think we have quick create on, which is awesome. Best practice, Arkus.
We do not.
So yeah, we do. So when I go to it's on. So go turn it off. But right now, when I go to create a new contact, I can create. I'm turning my laptop around. I can create a new account. So go turn it off.
I'm turning it off right now.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Turn that off. Let me know when it's turned off.
I'm going to user interface is where you can turn it off.
How dare us have that on?
Yeah,
that is
and show quick create. I'm turning off.
Get it off. Hit save.
And
don't change anything else for now.
No,
Come on.
I'm hitting
this is a quick
save.
Okay, good. Is it saved?
Yes. Apparently people liked us trying to enter a case live on.
Yeah, I heard. They like that.
Yeah.
All right. So as you can see, that new button is now gone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So again, 15 years of Salesforce knowledge. Learned something.
Drop some knowledge on you. So
I feel like it would be there and then they would disappear. So I think what you could do is turn on quick create, but then take it away from the page, the homepage page layout, because it was not showing up on our homepage, which is why no, it was not.
Yes, it was.
It was not. I looked for it and I couldn't see it.
It was there. How did you think I saw it?
You saw it probably not on the homepage. You probably saw it on some other page.
All right,
whatever. We'll play around with that later. All sorts of schooling today. So pick one more, and then we'll pick
back to the blog post.
Yes.
There's some really good ones. You know what I'm going to do? This is another pilot beta one I'm going to choose. I like these pilot beta ones. And another one that has to do with pick list values. So this is for data quality purposes, limiting import records to existing pick list values. So I would say be careful with this one. You could definitely break some integrations, I imagine, if you were to be just not caring about pick list values and just taking data and shoving it into a pick list.
Not caring?
Yeah, I could see people not caring at all and just being like, yeah, whatever, I'll just take whatever you give me and just throw it in this field.
Terrible.
Especially when integrating, especially when migrating lots of data.
Migrating data.
So be careful with that. It's great for data validation and data quality.
Right.
But just be careful that you may have to put some upfront time on your data that you're actually importing in Salesforce, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but sometimes I like to just import it dirty and then clean it.
Yeah. All right. So just if you want to get to see all these, obviously you go to blog.arkusinc.com and you can see all the blog posts. But on the side, we have our friendly, what do we call it? I think we call it tag cloud. Yep, just like everybody else on the planet. So there's a tag cloud. If you scroll down, there's lots of things. The bigger they are, obviously, the more. But then you'll see a Winter 16 tag. You click on that, and then it'll give you all the results for everything that's tagged Winter 16. And right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Although we did add in there's 2 CloudFocus weeklies in there, so you can ignore those if you want. But so they're all there. And if you're on a blog post, you can actually click on it on the bottom. It tells you the tags. So if you want to quickly get to stuff, you could also just search Winter 16, I'm sure, at the top, and it would come back with everything that is Winter 16.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does. It comes back with everything.
Good
so,
search.
All right. So that's it for those. Why don't we get on? Oh, next time. So I have 2 topics for next time. Then we'll do our CloudFocus app picks of the week. Facebook has launched 2 things.
Ooh, I need this.
Yes. So one is safety checks, which has a lot to do with the current happenings around the world, which is they've enabled this. There's some controversy to it, and that's why we'll read up a little bit on it. But basically allowing you as a Facebook user to go in, if you're in one of these areas, they somehow enable it for the area that there's a problem going on, a world catastrophe problem, and you can go in and say, I'm safe.
Oh, that's
and then
good.
it posts immediately to your profile, and then people can see that and track if your loved one is safe. So it's a kind of a quick thing. It's not a status or whatever, but it's only enabled. They kind of pick, and that's sort of the controversy. Is like, well, why is this place a place that you can be safe, and this other place where there's massive, terrible things happening, they didn't enable it for? So we've been back and forth on that. Then they've also released a nonprofit
Politics.
They've also released a nonprofit thing, so allowing nonprofits to raise money and do goals and tracking via Facebook, which I think is interesting, especially because of the space that we deal in a lot.
Sure.
So we're going to research both of these things.
We are.
And we're going to come back
and
talk about them next time, which will be in December.
Next time on CloudFocus Weekly.
Next time on CloudFocus Weekly. Okay? So that's your homework, Justin.
I will not be doing any of
Please
that.
do
All
that.
right, cool.
Let's pick this pick. This pick is awesome.
You picked a pick for me. This is so cool. Thanks, bud.
You're welcome. You were having a rough day, so
I
figured
was having a really rough morning.
I would throw you a pick.
Yeah,
It's been on my list for a long time.
Interesting. Have you used this with
anybody? Have used it.
Does it work well?
It does work well.
Do we know how it works?
What do you mean, how it works?
Well, so here's what it's called. It's called Take Ownership of Cases, and it's by Internet Creation Labs. Or Internet Creations Labs.
Yes.
It's a free app. I think they make a bunch of other stuff.
Yes, they have
case
a ton
flags,
of case.
Right? Email to case premium,
yes.
Case merge premium.
I think you've actually picked one of these before.
I know I've worked with these guys before on other things.
They're big into cases.
Yeah, they are. So, take ownership is a button that just sits on the case that you click and makes you the owner. So instead of clicking the change button, clicking the lookup button, typing your name in, clicking your name, hitting save, you just click this button and it makes you the owner. I just wonder how it works and if it would work in the Lightning experience.
It does not say Lightning ability, since it is just you're trying to think of it does some sort of funny thing. I bet it's real code. You can look behind the thing. It should tell you in the details what's in it. I'm
sure it's managed. So
yeah, well, no, but they'll tell you like what it is. They'll say
what it ships with.
Managed package, name 1, Salesforce mobile, custom tabs 1, custom applications 1.
Tell you a whole lot of.
I thought they usually told you like what's in it.
No, I don't.
It's got a lot of versions too. I'm thinking there's code in there.
Well, there's probably some code.
Let's see. Edit your case setup. Drag and drop. Take ownership free. Assign cases to yourself. Own the case. Anyway, I've seen this came up as a use case the other day, so I made it your pick of the week.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, mine is something that I bought yesterday. I've probably made every single one of these, but it kind of comes with a story. So my pick is Quicken 2016 for OS X or Mac. I just got the upgrade thing yesterday. I'm that sheep with this program. I've been using it since I think 1995, 1. I've been using it forever, and they've gone through many iterations. But the interesting, so it's the update to 2015 Quicken. If you're not using Quicken is a personal, software for managing your finances. It does some neat stuff. It does budgeting. It does whatever. It does connect to services and pull down your data if you want. It does investments. It'll track pricing and stuff like that. I have been used it for such a long time that it's just part of my system. And I like when while it does take some time for me to reconcile accounts and do things that most people don't do, It's something that's helped me ever since I was bad at managing money. It's helped me really. My theory is that if you put your nose in something at least once a month, then it kind of reminds you of certain things. So like the reason I like to reconcile my accounts is because I then go through and say, kind of get a detail of the stuff that I'm spending money on. And so it kind of reminds me, it's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't buy that thing, or, oh, I didn't know we spent so much money on medical, or, hey, I didn't get, it's just kind of a reminder. So Quicken 2016 for Mac is $75, or just too much. But the interesting thing is Intuit is actually shopping Quicken. So they are shopping it out, and they're trying to sell it to another company. So kind of interesting. Intuit is kind of like I have a serious love-hate relationship with them because I've used their products for over 20 years, and some of them I love, and then some of them I just terribly hate. And you heard about that last week in our customer success, our customer service 2.0 podcast. If you haven't listened to that, you should listen to that. But anyway, Quicken 2016 for Mac, $75. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's got a couple new features. I basically just keep up with it, and it's tax. I just pay the tax. All right. Well, that's it. Follow at Just Edelstein. Follow at Jason M. Atwood. Follow at Arkus Inc. Go to facebook.com/Arkus Inc. We're also in the Success and Power of Us Hub groups. We have groups in both, so you can follow us both places if you want, if you're in both groups. LinkedIn, Google+. Remember, if you're feeling thankful for your podcast of the week, we'd love to see a review on either iTunes or Stitcher. Those are two places you can review us so far. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the United States who celebrates Thanksgiving. Everybody who does not celebrate Thanksgiving, it's really just an excuse to sit around, eat tons of food, and watch football. That's what I do. That's your plans, yes?
Yeah.
The only plan.
That's the only plan.
Yes. So we'll be back not next week, the week after in December. Until then, Justin J saying enjoy those cloudy days.